along with the expanded component system, we do want to offer more like options within them. So one of the things in there that we're considering is like expanded special ability and utility options. So maybe within the healing ability for the medic, we would offer different power ups or kind of like what you're saying, maybe slower or faster recharge time, stuff like that. So that is definitely on our radar, and that's one of the things I'm more excited about. I think that will happen. So yeah, keep hitting us with ideas for that and like stuff we could incorporate into that system. Definitely.
Awesome. This one comes from Nick. Is there a way to get maybe some kind of an indicator of the mech that I'm healing so I know that their status and if they're still in the bubble?
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. That would go along with some of the feedback updates that we have planned. So maybe something next to the name tag would be great. Maybe something on their end besides just the sound effects and the healing itself. Maybe like a little status update somewhere on the HUD. Yeah, I think that's a great idea, Nick.
Alrighty, this one seems more of like a feedback that you could potentially, additional power up ideas from Mark. Uh,
Oh,
after
perfect. Yeah.
Afterburner Nitro, which temporarily increases the speed of mech and jump jets while reducing the cooldown of strafe and lateral jets with no additional heat buildup during power up, at the cost of ending with a 3-second cooldown and full heat meter. Extended battery. Extended clip battery temporarily increases the rate of fire and or reload speed. EMP mine disables any mechs within an area for 5 seconds, which I believe we have that one, do we not? With like the jammer.
Yeah, that sounds pretty similar. And it disables any mechs. What they might mean is also like even further, which could be disabling their weapons and such. So we've talked about that internally, and maybe that could be something. I like all these as ideas. They would have to be, vetted in certain things with speed. We have to be careful of because of VR and like the different rates of acceleration can lead to motion sickness and such. But yeah, these are sweet. Something like the EMP mine where it's disabling the weapons would maybe be some type of upgrade for the jammer ability. So yeah, stuff like that definitely sounds a lot of fun and stuff we're considering. Next on there was the communications jammer. Temporarily jams communications at the mics. That's a pretty funny idea. That might be a little intrusive and feel a little bad, but I do like that idea in a more hardcore simi situation. Might not be for us, but yeah, appreciate the ideas. Looks like
Uh,
there's some more on there too. Yeah,
yeah, he's got a came at us with a massive list. Countermeasures
appreciate
for
it.
missiles like flares, or I know when I play like Star Citizen, they have noisemakers that essentially
Okay,
work the
yeah.
same way. The ability to flop back and forth between post game stat pages, an
Yes.
option for rematch when you have either tie or one of those games where two groups are having an epic match and don't want to end.
Yeah. So definitely want to give more stuff on the post game stat pages eventually, and then so things like a rematch and situations during a tie and stuff within lobbies and the different servers. That's definitely something we're interested in. That might be more down the road as the lobbies and the servers do have a fair amount of work to like make them more malleable and make them kind of bend to our will. So definitely love that idea. I know something like a general lobby system would help a lot. So that's something we're considering. It just has to be weighed against everything else and might be a little further down the road.
Awesome. Now I know a lot of people have asked about this in a past AMA or asked around the Discord. Could there be an option to swap out lasers or pulse lasers in customization?
Yeah, so at the moment, with how the VR system works within it's very limited. Basically, the Android is very limited, and one of the requirements is that it is able to be played at a high FPS untethered without being plugged into anything. So we have to be very, very cognizant of the different draw calls that we're using. And essentially, one big reason we've had to make the mechs not customizable is if they have swappable weapons, then those weapons themselves become their own actor, let's say, and they are treated differently than one whole mech. So if they're swapping them out, they'll each have their own draw call, and there are just certain things like that where we don't want to add um, any more expensive features to the system to make sure that it's still running smoothly. If there was like some type of software update for the Android, or maybe if we, in the future made something for something a little heftier, we could. Um, as far as large lasers, there is no large lasers, so that's funny to see that comment. But there are more mechs incoming, so maybe we'll see it on there.
Great. Uh, could we choose different rounds for the shotgun and customization? Power versus spread.
Different rounds for the shotgun. Yeah. So that goes along. That would be one of the ideas within the upgraded like component system. So stuff like that is definitely interesting to us. Yeah, we want to see if we can get a little more fun with the upgrades and a little more specific to maybe the mech classes or the weapons. Um, it remains to be seen exactly what, but I do like that idea.
Kind of like going duck hunting. You don't want to take a slug. You want to take your bird shot. You know.
Yeah, there's different scenarios where you'd want different things, and so that is one of the ways we can give players more customization options, which we're excited about. So those kind of customized upgrade components are, that will hopefully be a big part of future updates.
Now this one I seen that I thought about, and I think I can't remember the name of the game. During deathmatch and assault, each team could select their team music or theme song. Whoever's leading, you would hear that media in the background.
I love that idea. Yeah, that's that I can't promise if that gets in. I like the idea. That definitely would be silly in some situations, but fun. Whoever's leading you would hear that media in the background. Okay, yeah, yeah. No promises, but I appreciate the idea.
This one comes from one of our ace pilots, and I think he's asked this one before, and I think James, you might have answered it. Is there room in the cockpit for a big red button so we can destruct on the fly, and a wire pull for a horn with multiple horn sounds?
Yeah. So, a big topic of discussion I think we've brought up in the past AMA and on the channel and stuff is that a big part of this is we don't want to get too simmy with it. This actually is a point where on our team we're like maybe we could throw a couple simulation things in if it's not like required for gameplay. So those actually are kind of in that realm of what we've talked about, a big red button for self-destruct or a horn. So
Self-destruct though could be a little difficult to implement because if you self-destruct, does it count as a kill for the other team? Does it not count as a kill for the other team? If you're almost dead and you do it, like, do you avoid giving
yep.
them a point? Like, there's a lot of gameplay potential problems with that. Horn
Mhm.
though, that's come up a
Yeah.
bunch of times.
I think that's been brought up multiple times in our meetings.
Yeah, that's one of those ones. I'm more on the side of keeping with the no simulation controls kind of at all because I think it keeps it very head in the game. Like you don't have to be fiddling around with things. Horn sounds, people on this like they said, yeah, that's been brought up. I could maybe be swayed. I do like it. I think it'd be pretty silly, but
I feel
then
like
there's like
with
the
you,
situation of if you can pull your hands off the controls at any time, like you know we don't really have a grip system. You're just always holding the controls. So there's certain things like that where the work adds up, and is it worth it, and does it align with our game? So
if the other players can hear your horn, you don't think that's going to be a
nah,
view? and
Right.
the entire game is going to be horns blaring as you run across the battlefield.
Yeah, you'll get to any domination point and just hear a bunch of horns.
Like playing War to Warships, you know. You hear the ships off in the distance blowing their horn, letting you know they're
Yep.
coming.
I mean,
Yep.
it could be funny, but I feel like that could get pretty annoying pretty quick too, especially for people who don't find it funny.
Yeah. We'll have to put in a dev hack and just do it to to annoy you guys when we jump in. No, I'm just kidding.
I second that idea.
You die, your horn blows, and it doesn't stop until you respawn.
Yeah, oh no. Terrible.
All right. Well, it looks like Mark forgot one. Could we have an AOE damage for mech explosions so that you get multiple kills when mechs are grouped together, or you could blow yourself up if one is too close?
Um, so like mechs doing damage on death, there's a lot to consider with that, and very much so with the second part of that question, like Parker was saying, like that could definitely be abused and used to grief teammates and stuff. Could you have an area of effect for mech explosions? Yeah. You know, maybe something like that could be a part of a fun, like future, like game mode or something, where you're kamikazing or something. I'm not sure if it fits exactly with the current game modes, but
I think this is
definitely
more asking
appreciate the
like
situation.
just like a general attack, just like a regular missile. If that can have some area effect damage to it.
Multiple kills when mechs are grouped together. Oh, like the weapons themselves. I see.
Yeah, I
There
see.
is a little bit of AOE on every damage. They do have like a little bit of range. But yeah, maybe some of the bigger weapons could have that. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that could be fun. Um, like I said, there's more mechs incoming, so you never know what weapons we might put on there.
Alrighty. I know this has been asked multiple times. A rear view mirror so I can stop backing into stuff.
You know, I do think that would be pretty nice. There's a lot of camera restrictions within like the Oculus and many VR headsets. Like for example, we wanted to put some type of sniper zoom in, and you're not allowed to change the FOV, the field of view, which basically controls how zoomed you are in at during runtime on the Oculus. Like it's very disallowed. I don't know, maybe if you get down into the weeds you could change that, but they like highly suggest against it because it can definitely cause like um you know just motion sickness. But if it's just switching what camera you're using, I wonder if you have to switch pawns or anything. If you could do that, you could probably do that within the same pawn. So I do like that idea. I think that would be nice. Reminds me of like Mario Kart. It's nice to see behind you, especially in something that doesn't turn so fast. So yeah, definitely appreciate the idea. I think that could be useful.
Awesome. So his next one is a community hangout to meet up before games. I'm guessing he's thinking like something like when you in Call of Duty, you hang out with your
Hmm.
teammates, before you go into the game.
Yeah, so a lobby system is definitely, you know, the ideal experience. There's a lot to do to get to that point. Dilo, I don't know if you have thoughts, but just the general like work for making that happen on a server um, is definitely very involved, and we have to weigh that against using our engineering resources on other stuff.
Yeah. It surprisingly there's a lot more to a lobby than you'd expect. Just on the back end, like that you just don't even think of or would see as a player. But I will say with private servers, a lot of the stuff that's needed for lobbies is also needed for private servers. So we've started, with the new patch coming out, we've started to take steps toward lobbies for sure. So closer than it was at the very least.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of the stuff we've been implementing and planning, we've tried to view as like steps towards an even greater version of the system that we're implementing. So yeah, exactly what Dee was saying. Like that's definitely possible in the future, and we're trying to be cognizant of the steps that we need to take to get there.
but I would say we definitely in that regard, we definitely want your guys' feedback on what you'd want for that kind of lobby system, or a community hangout. Like I assume you mean like um yeah, community. I guess it's like a party system. I guess is kind of what you'd be saying. Like before you queue up for a game, you hop into a party and you can chill, hang out, and then queue up. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely all that stuff though. Yeah, I agree. It would be really nice.
Because I think what he's asking on that is like you see everybody in a room, like your teammates in a room before you go into an actual match.
Yeah. And in
Almost like
Call
a
of Duty
hangar.
they have yeah, and that's kind of like a part of the lobby system for Call of Duty. So something like that would be sweet, where you're like all like getting prepped visually beforehand. You might not have control of the characters, but you're like seeing them next to each other just to see how awesome your squad is.
That would be amazing to implement. We have another one from Zippletips. How long do we have before we get a PC port?
Um, you know, TBD. There's discussion of what to do with the ports and like what our different options are. So it's hard to speak on that. I don't think I'm, authorized to talk about stuff
There's
like that at the
things
moment.
moving. There's things
A
Yeah,
lot of
moving.
parts.
exactly.
A lot of parts.
Yeah, but appreciate that there's interest there for sure.
There's a lot of interest for a PC port. Lots.
Especially
Nice.
for
Yeah, I love to hear that.
people that like stream. It's a little difficult to like for my sake, I don't have the upload speed to be able to run Oculus casting at the same time as my streams going live. So it makes it a little bit more difficult to even, put any content out on like Twitch or YouTube. So that's, the general speaking of people are waiting for the PC ports to come along.
Nice. For sure. Yeah. You are seen.
Dread Knight has a question. What about maps? I'm guessing he's asking for revamped maps or new maps.
Yeah, so one of the aspects we've been working on is new maps and expanding the current maps. So, for example, Aftermath is our smallest. We're going to be adding a little bit of square footage to that bad boy. We're going to be expanding port a tiny bit. And then, yeah, we have a new map coming in, kind of slated with the new mode. One might come out before the other. But yeah, we're excited about getting new maps in there. On our roadmap, some of the dates have changed a bit, so we are working on getting an updated version of that for you guys. It's going to be a little more concrete, but definitely excited about maps.
Great. Well, it looks like that's the end of the questions.
And we got people typing.
Oh, wait. What? Sorry. I was looking for hands raised. My bad. Any chance for deathmatch on Molten?
Well, you're in luck, Zippletips. We personally have found deathmatch in Molten to be a little too spread out for like normal game modes. We do want the playlist quick match game modes to be 6 minutes. But with the private servers, you can choose any map and any mode. So anything that's not in the regular playlist, you can choose that on your own private server, or like your custom server, as we're calling them. And yeah, you can play any mode and map combined, and then you can set the time length and the score limit and stuff. So that yeah, if everyone starts playing it in custom modes and tells us it's perfect for online, let us know and we'll put it in the custom map rotation. Maybe we'll just do a switch up one of these days for fun, and add to the custom server, or the quick match playlist. Yeah, no problem.
All
When
right.
that like all drops, definitely let us know other features within the custom server system that you guys are interested in, and we'll consider them.
All right. I don't see any more. Well, wait, never mind.
Yeah. While we're waiting for more questions to come in, is it possible we can kind of cover what's going on with the newest patch coming out?
Yeah. So I'll talk about the components quick. Basically, as I've mentioned, if you missed it, basically we are adding another slot to each of the components. So there is the component, which is like your mech chassis and the main mech itself, and then the two weapons each have their own component. So that was 3 total. Now there will be 6 total. So you can kind of mix and match the different components on there and kind of upgrade your mech in a more personalized way, which is really fun. Um, Definitely looking forward to getting people's feedback on balancing and everything. As we know, this will definitely like change a bit of the meta and the setups that people are choosing. So yeah, looking forward to people's feedback on that, and then expanding that is kind of what I've been talking about and alluding to, and getting more of the different customizable components to slot on there, and more upgrade options around the mechs and the weapons. And then Dilo, I don't know if you want to talk about custom servers.
Yeah, for sure. And then so for custom servers, it's fairly straightforward, but the idea is that it allows you to kind of host your own server, so that way other people can join you and you can play with the different settings of the server. So like setting a max amount of players, the round time, the score limits and stuff like that, what game modes you want to play, the playlist, all this kind of stuff. Um, and it's really just it's meant kind of like a the core features of the custom server for sure are all in there, but it's definitely a start, because we want to add more like fun stuff like what Dreadnought's talking about, power down mode, who knows, low gravity, who knows, we definitely want your guys' ideas on that so we can figure out what you guys want, because it is I think the private servers would be a lot of fun, but it's just the idea is just to give you guys some more control over your sessions, right? Give something more than just a quick match option.
And possibility for future tournaments.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if I could say. Yes,
I
exactly. This
mean,
is really a precursor for those competitive matches and lobbies, which I think are huge, huge features.
yes, completely agree. I think those servers are going to come a long way. We still need to do a few more things to be 100% ready for tournaments, but we can start doing like just community night ones and figure out a way around that, just so everybody can get involved, and it'll be a lot of fun.
We can get that dev versus community.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Do that. So
I mean, I know
It's
you
going
guys are down
down.
for it. We'll just make sure we sick will on them. Just
Oh boy.
let it go.
I'll make sure I'm on the other team at that point.
Free will alone.
Yeah.
So there was another question that wasn't put in AMA, and this one comes from Sputnik Cobra. Any updates or info about an observation spectator client?
Yeah, that is part of kind of the tournament system that we are hoping to work on. No promises when, or like what exactly what form that will take. If it will be a mode or different parts of the custom server, but like an actual observer spectator cam is on our wish list, but no concrete details really.
Okay, good. So Dread also asked, will the missile locking be upgraded to work with scouts and snipers?
Yeah, I'm looking at that question. I'm not exactly sure what you mean. So snipers, their missiles are all extended and can only be used with lock on. And then I can't remember exactly when, last maybe month or two, we made short range missiles, the light, medium, and heavy ones. You can dumbfire those without lock on. So will the missile locking be upgraded to work with scouts and snipers? Are you saying, do you want snipers to be allowed to be able to be fired dumbfire? Painting your target with a laser. Oh, as like maybe like a laser guided missile or like a laser lock. Um, that's not off the table. Right now we'll probably it almost does work like a laser that's always on that you can't see. It is where you're looking. So sense. we might not be changing that functionality. Um, I see your question above that power down mode, so that you turn invisible when you're powered down as some type of like stealth option. Um, I might we might leave that on just the scout, so keeping their stealth ability kind of unique, I think would be nice.
I think that might have been for maybe for custom server option. I'm not sure. You may correct me if I'm wrong, Dread Knight.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I know. I just know you had typed it when we were talking about that, but yeah, seems fun regardless.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, blue sky. I would love to add as many different parameters to the custom servers as possible. So yeah, I appreciate the ideas. Keep them coming for sure.
So another question,
Simple tips.
yeah, AI difficulty slider for the bots so we can do hard mode bot battles.
Yeah, that is something we would love to add in the future to the custom servers and maybe to on bot matches. We have parts of that system kind of started and aspects of that working, as far as the bots do have certain different like kind of children classes where they have maybe more health and stuff. So yeah, incorporating that into the other systems is possible. That would be ideal.
I'd leave George alone still though.
George is too OP, man.
Yep. Right, I don't see any other questions coming through unless somebody is typing. Um, we can then, if you guys, in the audience have any questions, you can raise your hand and we can allow you to speak your question if you didn't want to type. I believe that's at the bottom.
Yeah. One thing we could go over, because I haven't heard much from Parker, but Parker, are you able to share what you've kind of been working on the side?
No. No, I've been slowly making color variants of the existing mechs right now, so that when customization is implemented, you'll be able to choose from a number of color options for each of the mechs. So that doesn't necessarily mean like all the juggernauts are one color. It's multiple color variations for each of the existing 4 juggernauts. Um, so like I think it's like 100 and something skins, 106 or something like that. That you'll be able to choose from at the moment that I'm working on. So like I think it's gonna be 4 per mech at the moment. But there's a lot of them, so they are taking some time.
And they look so cool.
They're definitely coming along.
Yeah.
On top of that, I've done a few additional new skins for a couple of them. Some people have seen them. I sometimes will be in the dev hangout and I'll be working on stuff. I know a couple people have seen them in the past. I think Nick and Blue Balls have shown up while I've been working, and they've sort of gotten sneak peeks on things. Those are sort of on the back burner right now as I do the color variations, but I will be getting back to those soon. And yeah, we're gonna try and make some cool looking variations of things for you. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
Awesome. Thanks for the update, Parker.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got a stomp diminishes when multi targets are in the zone.
So I'm not sure if that's like a question or a request. The way the stomp is set up is based on the point of impact. It has like a sphere, and it does kind of drop off towards the edges of the sphere. So I believe the way it's set up is like if you're closer to the stomp, it'll do more damage. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've looked at that code, but you can do damage to multiple targets, I believe, too. So if you're saying there should be more fall off if there's more people, I can see that. Yeah, that's something we do.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have for questions. So if nobody's going to request to speak or anything, I don't think there's anything else we need to go over other than letting you guys know. Just watch out for announcements for when the patch is live and to make sure you update your headsets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward to feedback on the custom servers and everything. Thanks for joining us.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. The AMA has been recorded, so it'll be up on YouTube either today or tomorrow. We will post the link and announcements when it is live for those who weren't able to join us or people that just want to listen back through. James, Stilo, Parker, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
pleasure. Thanks for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Yes, thank you. Good to be here.
All right. Well, I hope everybody has a fantastic. It's Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Have a fantastic Thursday, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you guys next time.
See you guys.
Take care.
Cheers.
See ya.